Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. What's going on? And today I'm going to talk about turbos versus superchargers and why I didn't turbo both my cars. But first, before that, I've got some cool stuff to show you guys that just came in the mail. So, I'll have that ready in just a second. Right? Stop Tech big brake kit in black. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that bad boy. 4 piston calipers. And this car I went with black because my car I have red, and this car we're going with the black styling. Next, Preuto cams, Stage 2 Signature Series cams for the beautiful K20 head that we're building for this K24 block. I also have these on my car too for the turbo car. They're absolutely beautiful. It almost looks like it's rusted, but it's actually like copper almost. I'm not actually sure what that compound is, but I'm pretty sure it's copper. So yeah, those are pretty sick. You can see them engraved there. P208 Stage 2. So guys, I just want to let you know I'm improvising this whole thing, so I'm going to do my best job to explain it all in my best ways of explaining things. And yeah, so let's get down to it. So, the turbocharger versus the supercharger. I'm going to go ahead and get more into the supercharger first, and why I'm going with the supercharger on a Civic. So first things first, you need more displacement for a supercharger. There are two different types of superchargers, and they're both belt driven. So there are two different types of superchargers: the centrifugal type supercharger, and then there's the roots type. Roots type is going to be using two corkscrews pretty much, spinning in opposite directions, sucking in air and compressing it, pushing it down into your intake manifold. Now, as of the centrifugal supercharger, that's going to act more like a turbo, except for a belt-driven turbo. So you're going to still have a wheel that's sucking in air and compressing it like a turbo, but it's going to be with a belt instead of the exhaust gases. Now, as to which one's better, centrifugals are more efficient. There's no other way to get around a centrifugal supercharger's efficiency. It's way easier to spin than a roots type. You're going to get more boost, but in my opinion, there's no way I would get a centrifugal over a roots type, because roots type are just so much more fun, as in the sounds that they make, and yeah, that's about it. The sound is the difference. Now, you can upgrade your pulleys and stuff like that to give you more boost, less boost, all of the above, but for a roots type, you typically want to have a bigger motor because it's using the torque of the motor to actually spin it. So you're losing horsepower from your motor itself, but gaining it from the boost that you're getting. So now for the turbocharger. The turbocharger is a completely different beast than the supercharger. Way more efficient, and in my opinion, way more fun, because you're going to get way more power. Everything with a turbocharger is better than a supercharger, unless you're talking like big V8s that want to go supercharged or stuff like that, because they have so much torque and power that they can spin that supercharger super fast, depending on pulley size, of course. So now for the turbocharger, I actually have one on hand right here. This is the Garrett GTX 3076R Gen 2. So this is the brand new one that the Garrett, well actually it's not brand new, but they just came out with it pretty recently. So this is a serious beast right here. This is capable of 750 wheel horsepower, which my Civic's not going to be 750 yet, at least. I'm going to upgrade the turbo before that happens. So the difference between a turbocharger and a supercharger. This one's using exhaust gases, and the supercharger is using your motor pretty much. So I think the turbocharger is way better. Even though you have lag and stuff like that, I still think it's a whole lot better. Pretty much what happens with the turbocharger, I'll come up here for this. It's gonna be mounted to your exhaust manifold, right? It's gonna be pretty much mounted like that. This is your exhaust manifold. It's shooting exhaust into here, which is spinning your compressor wheel, which is just it's pretty much one big shaft that goes through it with two opposite sided fans. So this fan is spinning so it blows gas like exhaust gases out, and this one is sucking air in. So as this one spins, it's sucking air in, and it's also spinning this one, which is blowing exhaust gases out. So your exhaust gases are what's going to spin the turbo. So by spinning the turbo, your exhaust gases come in, spin this wheel at, I believe, anywhere from like 120,000 to 150,000 RPMs, and then while that's going through, your downpipe's connected right here, which is going to blow all your exhaust gas out, and then your intake is right here, which is going to suck that air in, compress it, and go all the way through the turbo right out here. And this is where all the panda bears come out, or bald eagles, depending on if your car's Asian or not. So yeah, that's how a turbocharger works. Now, a turbocharger has these little holes in here and stuff like that, which is pretty much it's gonna be your oil, because turbochargers spin so fast they need oil to pretty much keep them cold. So you're gonna have to tap into your motor for oil and stuff like that, but it needs oil to spin this and not explode. So I'll just give you guys a little closer look here at it. Absolutely beautiful. And this is not what a normal one looks like. I got this 2000 degrees black ceramic coated. So it's absolutely beautiful. A little bit of rust for some reason, but that'll come right off. And yeah, so that is a turbocharger. So now for the disadvantages of a turbocharger and a supercharger. The disadvantages for your turbocharger is going to be, you're going to have a couple of disadvantages. First is turbo lag. That's where you step on the gas and those exhaust gases that are coming out have to have time to spin that turbocharger, spin that turbocharger until it hits that RPM, that magical number, and creates boost. So that is pretty much lag. Lag is a problem for bigger turbochargers mainly, not smaller ones. Like this one behind me has almost no lag, or should almost have no lag, so it should spin really fast. But by lag, I mean like you're talking like a half a second to 1 second of lag until you're fully in boost. And for a supercharger, the disadvantage is you're not going to have as much boost. Like typically you're going to be running like on a Comptech supercharger or Kraftwerk supercharger like 12 pounds. On the TVS 1900 that I'm getting from Magnuson, it's going to be about 18 pounds. But from the turbo, the sky is the limit for a turbocharger. This one's going to be at about 25 pounds, but I've seen Supras go all the way up to 60 pounds of boost before, which is absolutely ridiculous, and you're going to pretty much have to upgrade everything in your motor. Now, as reliability goes here, any turbo car is going to be less reliable than a supercharged car. It's just the way it is. You're going to have less boost with the supercharged car, which is going to make it theoretically safer. You can run stock internals and stuff with like a Comptech supercharged car and not have to worry about blowing anything up for a while, maybe besides the transmission, because that's the weak links in these 8th gen Civics. But other than that, like, there's not really any other disadvantages for superchargers. Now for turbochargers, there's a lot more that can go wrong within your motor and within the turbocharger. Say your oil pump is not pumping enough and you don't have an upgraded oil pump and your turbo starts to run out of oil and then you blow it up. That's a big problem that can happen if you're not careful. The internals of your motor, it's going to put a lot more strain on the internals of your motor. Being in the head, maybe rods, you could throw a rod, that would not be good. Bearings are going to have a lot more wear on them, but everything is just going to be like, it's going to get worn out faster. And cooling with turbos, that's a big problem, which you have to have an intercooler with a turbo. Whether it's a liquid to air intercooler or air to air. Mine is personally air to air. I don't think you really need a liquid to air. Now for the supercharger, I'm also going to have an intercooler, but it's less important pretty much. You'd have a lot smaller of an intercooler for a supercharged car. So guys, to do a little recap here, superchargers, less fun, more reliable, less boost, less strain on your motor, depending on what supercharger you get, of course, and how much, what size pulley you get. Turbochargers, slightly less reliable, depending on your setup. They can be just as reliable if you have a built motor and stuff like that, but in general, less reliable, and more boost, more fun. Like, comment, subscribe, yell at me in the comments if you want to on if I missed anything or all of the above. I don't think I missed much. Hopefully not, but just go click that subscribe button. I'll have some great content coming soon. This car behind you, which you can't see, will be done in 2 weeks. I want to say about 2 weeks. It depends on how fast I can get the motor in and get it all wrapped up. It is a lot of work and a lot of stuff to do on it. Upgrade the fuel system, all that stuff. That's going to take forever. But I should have the motor in and almost finished in about a weekend with it running, completely driving. Then we'll go down to South Georgia, West Georgia-ish, and get a nice tune from EB Tech. And yeah, so then this car will be done. Then by Christmas time, I'm hoping that the turbo car will be done. I'll have some good footage of me building that one, hopefully. But mainly just the supercharged car, because I'm doing this one all by myself. But the supercharger will not be here for months probably, because it's Merc Racing. But that's why we're running all motor. We're going to see how much power we can squeeze out of it with those new cams and all the above. And so yeah, I'm done here. Go down below, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.